What's up, everybody? DJ Small, Slingin Dirt Media here. I'm out here in the shop with Eric Shepard Jr. Eric, man, thanks for carving some time here and making this happen.
Yeah, not a problem. It's about time we actually got to do this.
You know, there's a lot of people and that I want to talk to, and there's a lot of guys that we talk about it, and it's just like, man, you got to wait till the stars line up and the schedules are clear, and hey, I had a cancellation. Hey, Eric, you available? Oh, yeah, I am. Like, cool. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying this for what, about a year now, roughly?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah, I mean, just either working out of town or just, you know, like you said, schedules not being able to line up. So finally we're able to do that. So
let's start with that. Working out of town, what's that like? What do you do?
I work for my dad. We do security surveillance,
okay.
So access control, cameras, alarm systems, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Our biggest client is Dayton Freight Trucking, so I'm sure you've seen their trucks going up and down the road.
Yeah.
So we go as far south as Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis. We've gone far out west as Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
We've gone to Minnesota, Wisconsin.
That's some traveling.
Yeah, we do a lot of traveling. So we do probably, I would say, 5 to 8 sites a year, roughly.
Yeah.
You know, probably at least once a month. So that also cuts into our racing time. Which stinks. But
what do you do?
That's what pays the bills,
right?
Yep. So that's what keeps the racing going for us.
I gotcha. How long you been doing that?
I've been doing that for about 5 years with my dad.
Okay. Dad's been doing that a while, though.
Yeah, he's been doing this for almost probably 20 years. But before he started doing the security stuff, he was doing, satellites and stuff. So he's always been in tune with, wiring and that kind of that sort of stuff.
Technical, logical stuff that I don't know.
Right. And you look at my dad, and you're definitely like, he don't look like the, technical type.
No, not really.
No.
Interesting. Okay. So let's start. I know your dad has raced a long time. I mean, I remember your dad racing as a kid.
Yeah, he's raced about 30 years. And we go back. My great-grandpa started racing when he got back from World War II. I don't know the exact year.
Right.
And then my grandpa, when he got old enough, he got his car and he started racing, and then it's just kind of trickled down.
Yeah.
So
I always remember your dad in the tin car, the bad company car.
Yeah. We've actually got the old doors sitting right up there.
I seen it up there.
Yeah. Everyone always asks, why did we switch to X from 10? And it's because Dad used to be 10. And number 10 just became so popular.
Right.
And it just started going out there. So he's like, I want something different. I want something that kind of sticks out, So he's like, Roman numeral 10
It is the Roman numeral.
Yeah. So technically we're still 10.
You're still 10.
Just in a different form.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So, and now.
Change approved.
Yeah. And I've asked him, like, hey, how would you feel about me switching back to 10? He's like, no, and I've talked to a bunch of people with fan appreciation and stuff. And they're like, we love the X. So now it's stuck. So
it's a thing now.
It's a big thing now.
It's one of those things that's like, it's hard to go back.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe I can talk him into doing like a throwback scheme.
A throwback.
Or something. Yeah. But he likes his simplicity and just his own thing. So
I got an idea. Tell me what you think. In the X. Why can't it say bad company in the X,
We might
subtle.
We might do something with that. I might have Michael draw me something up.
Yeah, for sure. I think that'd work. I think Michael could pull that off.
Oh, if anybody could do it, it's Michael. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, when did you start racing?
My first year racing was 2019, and that's when Stan Freeman said, "Hey, I've got this leaf spring car. I want you to drive it."
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So we brought it here. We went through it. We got it ready in 2019. That was the first year I've ever sat in a car.
Okay. Was this a sport mod or a regular mod?
This was a sport mod.
Okay.
2018, we'll start there. 2018 is when Florence kind of started the sport mod deal, roughly.
Yeah.
Dad had that old Larson car, 3-link car.
Yeah.
And he won a couple races with it, and, he really enjoyed it. And so after that year, we were looking for a car for me, just kind of, get my feet wet. But he wasn't just going to
something to play with.
Yeah, he's like, I don't think you're gonna race it the whole year. You
Right.
know, you might get to race here and there. Which is fine with me. I was ecstatic.
Sure.
I just got out of high school. I'm like, yeah, I want to race.
Yeah.
But the mistake they made was they found a car. It was up in Ashtabula, Ohio, which is right on the border of Lake Erie and Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And they sent me with the cash and I was in a trailer, and I wanted a race car, and we got it home, and this thing was bent more ways than none.
Really?
Yeah,
a little rough.
It was rough.
Wow.
And so we turned it into a project car. My grandpa and I, we went through, we got it straightened, and we got it together, and then and that's when some things hit the fan, and so part of life.
Yep.
And that's when Stan said, "Hey, I got a car. I want you to drive it." So that's what we did.
Okay.
That car just kind of sat on the back shelf for a while, and then
where's this car at now?
Aaron Covington is driving it.
Okay.
So Stan Freeman bought it.
Yeah.
And
So it's still out there.
it's still out there.
Okay.
Actually, if you remember, beginning of 2022, Jeremy Freeman kind of came back driving the 2 car.
Yes.
That's the car.
That's the car. Okay.
That's the
yeah,
car.
Yeah.
So Jeremy's had really good success with it. Aaron's learning. He's getting better every week. So
it's still going around and still making laps.
it's still making laps.
It's still slinging dirt.
It is still slinging dirt.
Okay. All right. It's a nice play there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
you get a leaf spring car from Stan. You bring it in here. You and Papa are working on it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And so Dad, he's like, I'll fund the bill. He's like, but I'm not touching it. It's all on you to make sure this thing's maintenance, top of the line every week. And and he directed me in the right ways, but he's like, you're gonna do it on your own. You're gonna learn. And And so, which I'm thankful for. There's not a lot of guys out there that just
I would take that deal every day, all day.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You don't have to touch a thing on it. I will be glad to.
Right, and there's times when I'm like, hey, I need your help.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's been doing this for so long.
Yes.
And then he just knows, the shortcuts to do this, or the shortcuts, to get away. Like, I'm working on the body right now, and he's like, well, you don't want to do that. Do it this way, and it'll come out how you want it. Just the things of over so many years that he knows how to do.
Yeah.
That.
So, as the sport mod class started, we talked about there. You mentioned at Florence. Mm-hmm. So I was doing the tech at Florence. So I kind of had a lot of involvement there with the rules, and I kind of did. I did push a lot to get the sport mods at Florence. I seen it as a class that could work. I felt
absolutely.
like it's a little bit more economical friendly than a regular full-blown modified.
For sure.
In ways. But no. So with that, there was a lot of times that I had to use your dad as an example.
Yeah.
How was it? Let's see. There was one particular that I was not crazy about. I know there was 2 engine packages.
Yes.
The crate motor or a open motor.
Right.
Okay. The biggest thing that I had a problem with was the crate motor that came from an engine builder.
Right.
I'm like, I'm kind of not okay with this.
Sure.
I had.
There were some doubts.
There were some doubts, and I had some real hesitations on that. But at the end of the day, I had to look at it this way: if that engine builder isn't opening up the motor, they're not touching the internals. The only thing they're doing is adjusting tuning, valve springs, carburetor. They're doing that. So what is the difference in a new guy coming into sport that doesn't know any of that stuff, doesn't know how to do that, versus racing against like your dad, who's been doing it for years? He knows what to do. He knows how. So it's a disadvantage to that kid that, well, I don't know what to do, or his dad don't know what to do. They're just getting into sport. But if they can pay somebody, that now they're on the equal playing field. So that made me a little bit more okay with it. I'm still okay, but But again, I had to look at it that way. Like, again, your dad was now back in the sport. He had been out of the car. He was done racing modifieds for a while.
Yeah,
the sport mods came back in, and he calls me up and says, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing this? And I said, Eric, here's how it's going to be. Here's my, And he says, all right. He says, I'm putting a car together. And I'm like, cool. So it's another car that came back to the track racing.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that wouldn't have been back out there,
Yeah,
And now look where we've led to.
Right. He right around 2012, 2012, 2013. We still had a car. We just, work and everything, and it was, he bought the house, and
yeah,
and then he built this garage and everything. So
very nice.
Yeah. So it, just a lot of life things just happened, and he was just kind of, him and my grandpa were burnt out on spending the money, to try and be competitive in the A-Mod. And
it's tough.
it was tough, and so when the Sport Mods came around, he's like, I found an old car. He cleaned it up really nice, and it's just got a 602 and went from there. And
I really like that 602 package, man. It's racing. I get it. It's going to cost some money.
Sure.
There's nothing cheap in racing,
No.
but I feel like that was at least it's reasonable.
Oh yeah.
Now I know over the last few years the pricing on everything has gone up, so maybe it's not as reasonable as it was, but man, it's still not the worst thing in the world.
No. I mean, you look at guys at Florence. I mean, Andrew Corbin, he's got a crate. Carson Freeman, us.
They're competitive. They're winning.
Right, and everywhere they go, they're competitive.
Sure.
Now you go to Moeller. There's some guys that run crates at Moeller. They're competitive.
Yeah.
We take our car to Brush Creek, which is a throttle track. I mean,
it's fast.
It's fast, and we've had some really good races with Reed Bishop there.
Yeah.
Zach Carr. I mean, Chris Cruzcamp. He's another one that runs a 602. He's really tough.
Yeah.
At Brush Creek. Derek Richmond. They come from Portsmouth, Atomic.
Right.
They're kind of 35. So guys come.
So have you gone? Have you taken? Do you go to Atomic much, or have you been?
We went one time this year.
Okay.
It was earlier in the year. Our stuff wasn't very good. We had some fuel pressure issues.
Okay.
I ended up actually catching on fire.
Oh.
Yeah, our butterflies stuck open, and it was just dumping fuel.
Yeah.
So.
Not cool.
No, that was in qualifying. So that kind of set us back for the night, and kind of worked our way back up through the field. And I think we finished top 5.
Yeah.
But Atomic's a fun track. It really is. And the
I've
guys out
always
there.
liked it.
The guys out there are really tough.
Yes.
You got Miles Cook, you've got Kyle Payne, Reed Bishop runs there a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Jamie Adams.
Yeah, that's the other one I was thinking. I was like, I knew I was.
Jamie Adams is really tough. You know, so this year we've kind of ventured out we want to race against other, other people, get other tracks, get a more style of how to drive different tracks, and when we come back to Florence or Moeller or whatnot, it kind of plays into our advantage because I've learned I can race differently. You know what I mean?
I've always had people say and tell me it's like it's good. It's good to be good at your track,
right?
But the more you kind of venture out and travel around, make you a better racer, better driver. I'm like, okay,
absolutely. We've, like I said, the competition, just changing that style of competition of just driving styles. You got to change how you drive the car to be competitive at different tracks. And when you go back to your local track, you know how to drive that track, but you've also picked up on other things from other tracks that help you go forward.
Okay, so let me ask you this: do you struggle with, or is it an issue with, if your car's not handling right? Which is easier for you to do? Change how you're driving the car, or change the car to how you're driving?
Changing my style driving. This car has been tremendous for us. And there's different, obviously tracks get slicker, heavier, and you got to adapt to the track.
Yeah.
Whether that's putting more brakes to the front in these things, or, just open your corner entry up a little bit. There's just so many different variables that go into it. It's just not get in and drive,
Yeah.
And I think, that's where some people make the mistake. It's just, the car's not good. We got to change the car.
Right.
And it's like, well, Dad, I'll come in. Dad's like, you got to change your driving style, and I agree.
Yeah.
We gotta play the cards a little different here.
Yeah. You drive the car way different, and I know this is left field to right field.
Right.
A dry slick track versus a heavy track. You drive it differently,
Oh, absolutely. You have to. I mean, there's been numerous times at Moeller this year, track gets black slick. I mean, it's a blast race. Me and Nick have had great races. We've had a couple run-ins, but that's part of racing.
It's racing.
No hard feelings there.
Yeah.
He's a great competitor. Him and his dad are a tremendous duo.
Yeah.
We love racing against him. Unfortunately, he's not racing Sport Mods this year.
So he's out of the Sport Mod this year, just in an A-Mod.
That's what they announced at the Moeller Banquet a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So, it kind of sucks.
Right.
I was like, well.
Well, speaking of A-Mod,
Yeah, we've got one. We've got one in the works too.
Okay, okay.
You know, we've had it. We got the car in 2022, and we've had some motor issues. You know, this just kind of hasn't played out. But I think this year we've got it figured out, and we're ready to see what. Yeah,
okay.
we're ready to see what we can do in the A-Mod.
So is this going to be a double duty thing, or is it going to be a week to week? Well, 1 week with this, next week with that, or back and forth, or is there a primary yet?
The primary is still the Sport Mod.
Okay.
Now, Dad and I have kind of talked, you know, if there's a, you know, semi-larger big money race for the Sport Mod, you know, 800 to 1,000.
Focus on that.
We're going to do that,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Just because it's a little bit easier for us, you know.
Sure.
Just to, you know, the A-Mod, there's a lot of work that goes into an A-Mod, you know. So
There is.
But, you know, him and I have kind of talked about it, you know, the local, if there's nothing going on locally, you know, we might take both cars to Florence or just take the A-Mod or vice versa to Moeller. Or,
right.
Or take the A-Mod to Atomic when they've got, you know, Lucas Oil or World of Outlaws.
Right,
or
yeah.
They run sprint cars, so we know the track's going to be really good.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But I guess the nice advantage of that, too, is if, depending on how you feel like doing it, you can race one night and the other one the next night.
Yeah.
Then you got all week to get them both ready again.
Right, you know, and so that's another topic we've talked about. But there's just so many variables and options that, you know, you can do. So whether it just be me, Dad, and Dave, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into it to put in two cars. You know?
Sure.
So
it's not just one car.
No, it's two.
You got double the work, double the maintenance, double the bills.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, you got to have your stuff top notch, so that way when you go out there, you're not spending more money.
Sure.
Than you have to.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
You'd rather try and bring in as much back, you know, to try and put back into the cars.
The goal is to go and win, not run second.
Oh yeah. You know, that's a big thing. You know, a driver's biggest critic is himself, and I'm very hard on myself. You know. Dad, we'll run second, you know, to Nick, and like I'll come in and I'm furious.
You're not okay with that.
I'm not okay, and he's like, that was a great race, you know. Like me and Jimmy Lennox had a phenomenal race at the Sport Mod Spectacular this year.
Okay.
And we come across the line, and I was right on his bumper, you know. And I come in, everyone's like, "Oh, that's a great race," you know. And I'm like, I'm mad.
You're disappointed.
I'm disappointed, you know. And they're like, "That's a great race," and you know, nothing to hold your head on. I'm like, I'm not holding my head. You know,
right.
I'm holding my head up, but I came to win, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that drive, you know,
yeah.
I love racing against guys that come down, you know. I've raced against Adam, Pete Holt, Jimmy Lennox, you know, guys like that come down, and
that makes you better.
That makes you a better driver. I love it. I love racing against guys that come down.
Yeah. When I remember when I started Super Dirt Stocks, seems like 100 years ago, we had a few guys, they were late model drivers.
Yeah.
Racing in street stocks. I was like, what the heck, man? This ain't
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and you know, there's some guys that don't like that. You know, I get it.
Yeah,
you know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But at the end of the day, you know, the way I look at it, those guys are the best or you know, some of the best in this class. And when they come down, I know what I'm racing against.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that pushes me. Okay, I know this guy's this good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to beat him.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we've had really good success.
You can see where your competition lies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so that I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Man, I know it hasn't happened in a while. I know it's been done a few times, and you know, there's a Mississippi Thunder is doing a big modified race this year.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It is huge. I looked at it, but I didn't really show it to Dad. I don't know if he's seen it or not.
Yeah.
You know, I know that much money, there's going to be a lot of cars.
There's going to be a lot of cars there.
You know, and a lot of the best of the best.
Best of the best, right.
So, with it being pretty much our first full year, I wouldn't even say full year back in A-Mod.
That may be something to watch.
Yeah, we'll kind of sit back, watch how it goes, you know, but,
yeah.
you know, we've got really good support behind us with the A-Mod or even the Sport Mod, you know, and Todd Sherman and Brennan Sherman. You know, we call them up and we can sit there and talk to them for hours, you know.
However long it takes to work it out.
Right, you know. So we've got really good support in that. You know, we've got Bob Oliver at Competition Carburation. You know, we'll call him, hey, this is what the car's kind of doing. And so we've got really good info on how to tune the carburetor to different tracks. Right. And, you know, so we've just got really good people surrounding us, you know, to help us out. So
Sure. And a lot of times that's what it takes. If you don't have the answer, who do you need to go to get the answer?
Right.
Having those resources can be huge.
Oh, absolutely. You know, so like I said, we'll struggle one night, and I mean, you know, struggling to us is, you know, third, fourth, you know, and I get
out of the top 5 is
right,
struggle.
You know, and I get it. You know, everyone's like they get happy about top 5, but you know, when you when you do it consistently, you know, it's
Sure.
like it's that drive of I'm here to win. You know what I mean?
I want more. I want to win more.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
know, I want to put a footprint. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be the best. And you
Sure.
know, so, yeah, man, I don't.
Let's see. What about Eldora? Have you turned any laps at Eldora?
No, never turned a lap at Eldora. On iRacing, I have. I've turned a lot
iRacing.
on iRacing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but no, not in person.
Maybe
I'd love to.
this year. Maybe next year.
Possibly. There's
Get some laps to see how
Yeah.
we were liking the
Yep.
mod. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We'd love to go to Eldora.
Yeah.
You know, so
That place is big around. I mean, it's
it's
for
big and it's a motor track.
for our region though. I mean, it's like that's the. I'm not gonna say it's the pinnacle, but it's the that's where everybody wants to go. And everybody wants to run.
If you don't want to win at Eldora, then
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to win. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to stand on the stage at the Big E.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a dream.
Little E at Big E. I mean, come on,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That's what we need.
Oh, absolutely. But, no, my race that I really want to win is the North-South.
Oh, yeah.
One, it's, you know, Florence is home.
Florence is home.
But the backstory to it is, you know, my grandpa and a couple of others, I think there was 3 or 4 others, bought the track, I think from the Weatheralls.
Okay.
Back in around 81, 82. And my grandpa used to go down and race with the series down in Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, the old Atomic Speedway.
Okay.
And he got with their race director, you know, their series director, and said, hey, we got a track up here. We'd like you guys to come race. You know, down there they had, you know, their series, their stars. And we up here, we had, you know, Lefevers, and we had all the big guys up here that are really good. And so, like, come up here and let's put something together, you know, meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And so they did, and, you know, that's where the North-South kind of initiated.
So that's where it became the North-South.
It was the battle versus the North versus the South.
Okay.
And that's where that came about.
Really?
And, yeah. And so they did that for the first year, and it was a good turnout, you know.
Okay.
And then the Kings bought the track the next year, and they continued doing it. And, you know, now Josh has done a tremendous job and to get it to where it is today.
The thing is,
it's a crown jewel.
It's crown jewel. I mean, yeah, there's no other way to say it. It's crown jewel.
It's a crown jewel, you know.
Yeah.
So even to win the modified portion would mean a lot to me.
Sure.
You know, so. But yeah, that's the race that I want.
Yeah, I kind of always remember that as, you know, when I was racing, it was like, man, that's the biggest weekend of the year at Florence.
Oh yeah.
That's the weekend you want to win. You know, whether it was in the Super Dirt Stocks, you had to be top 24 in points just to get to run the feature there. You didn't get to run heat races and all this other stuff. You had to be top 24 in points. Well, it's like, man, it was a kind of a year-long process. Like, hey, if you weren't winning every week, you got to make sure you stay in that top 24.
Competitive, right?
Yeah. And then I think when I was in my early back then, it seems like, I feel like the mods were the same way. But then I think they trickled out the Super Dirt Stocks and then went to, okay, now modifieds. Get heat races and get to race your way into it and stuff. So, yeah, there was a little transition there. But,
yeah. And the track was totally different, you know. Josh has reconfigured the track, and while watching some old videos of it, you know, just 10 years ago, going into 3, it's so much wider now, you know. He's made the track.
He's opened up bottom up down there.
He's opened it up, and the track is really racy, you know. Now you get Josh Rice there, and then it's going to be top dominant, you know. But, you know, that's where I like racing against people like that. It's going to make you better.
Do you have a preferred? Are you a bottom feeder, or are you the spark? Are you Sparky? Are you like the ripping the lips, man?
I guess you could say I'm more of a bottom feeder.
Okay.
Now, if the track moves up to the wall, you know,
sometimes you got to go where you got to
there,
go.
You know, but as long as the track's smooth, and I'll do whatever I can to find that, you know, that
little bit of grip. Yeah.
Yep, so
that sweet spot.
Yep. Just last year, the year before, Andrew Corbin and I had a great race. You know.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal at running the bottom, just like his dad.
Yeah.
He is phenomenal at it, and he started pulling away from me. I'm like, I got to try something, and so I moved up to the top. You know, we caught him and ran him down. We had a great race to the line, and we got him. You know, so
yeah.
You know, just finding where you got to go.
Yeah,
is the biggest thing.
I had in the modified it was a north south, and I've got clips of it. I don't have like the whole race, but I think buddy of mine, Jeff Ward,
Yeah.
I think he may have videoed a little bit of it. So I started toward the tail. I mean, maybe 20th or something like that. And the modified feature portion of North-South came up, and I think it was like 10th or 11th.
Right.
Something like that. To me, that was passing a lot of cars. And I was just saying, that was a lot of fun. And it was, I always felt like I was maybe more of that bottom guy. Man, I had to get up top, and man, I was just picking them off. I was like, this is fun.
Oh, yeah. And back then, man, the A-mods weren't easy.
No.
You had really tough cars, and I mean, you had a stout field of cars.
Yeah.
You know, and the track got super slick, and so it was just, it wasn't like you could just really drive right around somebody, you know, so you really had to.
It was really finessey, but then you had that little bit of moisture at the top you could just get and go.
Just a little bit. So, yeah, I mean. I wish Florence would get like that once, you know. But Josh does a tremendous job with the track. I will give him that, you know.
I'm no track prep guy. There's nothing I could do or say to help. I'm out of that part. I got nothing to do with it. No, I think that weekend with that many cars and that many laps on a racetrack, I think he's got it figured out on that weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I could see where there may be other weekends where you don't quite have as many cars or as many cars making laps. I could see where that would, okay, now you got to figure out how to, and you've got to adjust what you do to the racetrack, because there's going to be way different than that weekend.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's part of dirt racing, you know. It's dirt. It's going to change every week.
There's a reason we don't run asphalt.
There's a reason. And, you know, and that's where it makes it fun. You got to stay on your toes. You got to learn how to read a track, you know.
Sure.
You know, and it's not going to be perfect every week. You know?
Right.
It's dirt. We're racing on dirt.
We're racing on dirt. That's it, man.
Yeah.
We're slinging dirt.
We're slinging dirt.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you have let's see. Are you more of a bigger track, or are you more the bull ringer? Which is more your style? Which one do you like?
I like bigger tracks, you know.
Okay.
Kind of more momentum, you know.
So this Eldora thing could be a good.
It could be.
We'll see.
It could be. But, you know, I love going to Moeller, Brush Creek, and Atomic, tracks that are banked, and you can carry some speed. You know, stuff happens a lot faster. Yeah. It's, you know, more up pace.
Yeah.
So you got to be on your toes, and it makes it fun. You know, racing's a lot tighter. You know. I love just racing, period, man.
I just love racing.
Oh, yeah. No matter
we're going to get the go-karts out. We're going to race.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, even if, you know, you get a couple buddies go up to the local go-kart track or whatever, just it's a blast.
Yeah, same. I feel you, man. I get it. I love it. I just want to go fast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's just something about that being side by side with somebody, and how much harder can you push it and go in and come off, or maybe you got to let off a little earlier to come off. You know,
there's just so many variables. But when you can race door to door with people, I mean, it gets exciting. You know.
Yeah. I'll tell you. I'll tell you about that off camera. We had a little good karting experience down in Charlotte that was pretty fun. Yeah. Good times.
We had one of those at PRI in 2021. There's a big group of us, and we went to SIK. And they have a slick track in there.
Yeah.
And it got wild. We'll say
wild.
I mean, we had Ashton Winger there. We had Stapleton.
All right.
I mean, there's about 20 of us, and it turned into a ball.
Nice.
Yeah.
It turned into It turned into a race, huh?
It turned into a race. Let's just say their carts didn't look too good after that night.
No. Yeah. That's awesome. We need to get a group together and go do something like that sometime.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's off season. Let's get everybody get everybody out before.
It's getting to crunch time now.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be like, I ain't got time now. I'm getting my stuff ready.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I gotcha. So what are you looking forward to most coming up to in 2024?
Hopefully you get to race a little more.
Okay.
You know, we don't get to race a lot. Work. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and just. We look, you know, my dad puts a lot of money into these cars, you know,
sure.
and to, you know, keep them going for me. So I do what I can to, you know, not tear stuff up, you know, as best as I can. And we watch the tracks. You know, if the weather's bad, we're not going, you know.
Yeah.
And I get it's dirt. You know, we want to try and support everybody we can, but you know, with the money that everything or the cost of everything right now, it's just
stuff ain't cheap.
Stuff's not cheap, so we don't want to go out there and just tear our stuff up. And we're not, discrediting anybody, track owners,
Yeah.
I get they're doing the best they can, and,
Yep.
we totally get it, but,
Yeah.
we hope that they get a full field of cars. But, if it rained the night before real hard and
Yeah.
it's, or the
You
day
guys
of-
got to look out for you.
right,
Get it? I guarantee you, racetracks are going to look out what's best for them.
Right.
Everybody's got to everybody's doing the same thing. I mean,
absolutely.
It's just, how do you do it?
Right.
You got to manage it right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I look forward to the Sportmont Spectacular again at Moeller. Jimmy Lennox and I are the only ones who've won it.
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
he won the first race, and I won the next year, and then him and I started on the front row this year together. So the two previous winners started on the front row together. And
Nice.
we had an awesome race, So I hope he comes back into a Sportmont so I can get revenge on him. But
Big called out. Yeah.
So maybe we can race the north-south with the A-Mod this year.
Okay.
I think I might have heard that they might not run A-Mods at north-south this year.
Really?
Don't know if that's true.
What do you think they would? Have you heard what they might replace it with?
No. That's just a rumor. You know how rumors go.
Yeah. No credibility.
No, there's nothing. So you can't rely on that stuff. But going up, I think we're gonna go up to Lima Land and race against Todd Sherman. And see, them guys with the A-Mod. Just going around these local tracks with the A-Mod, it might have bigger events, sprint cars or stuff like that,
right.
just to get our feet wet with that and see what we can do.
Okay.
So just trying different things this year. I look forward to.
Okay. Before we wrap things up, I want to know a little bit more about Eric outside of the race car. So we've talked about the cars a little bit. We've talked about the tracks and where you've been and a couple of the races you've won.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Eric outside the car. What is something people don't always know about you?
Man.
Tell me about the playlist. Let's start with that. What's the playlist looking like?
Music-wise?
Music-wise, what's the playlist
Man,
look
it's
like?
all over. Yeah, it is all over.
It's creative,
It's
huh?
creative. I mean, one day it's, today's country or, like the last couple days I've been listening to 80s, 90s country.
Yeah.
On race days I listen to stuff that's more upbeat, try and get you in that mode.
Yeah.
Or, some like rock, 80s, 90s, 2000s rock, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's just all over, depending on the mood. Some days you got different moods for different things.
I can be in the shop working, and somebody will walk in, and there might be some Metallica playing, and there might be some Lady Gaga. You just don't know.
Oh yeah, so I got a playlist of just mixed everything.
Yeah,
Dad will be out here, and I've got the speakers going, and the song come on. He's like, "What the hell are you listening to?"
Hey, it just
and I'm just like, "Hey," and that's.
Yeah, put me in the mood, man.
Yep,
Here I am.
So.
Yeah.
There's that.
What's the go-to? What's your favorite dinner place? You're gonna go out to eat. Let's go get some grub. What's your go-to?
Roosters.
Roosters,
man.
Okay.
You can't beat their wings.
Really?
Oh yeah, that place is phenomenal.
Yeah.
They got wings. So football. During the summer, you racing, and then fall comes around when race started to die down. You got a place to go to watch some football on Sundays.
Yeah.
Or Saturdays watch college football.
Okay, which Roosters you go to?
One Milford.
Milford. Okay.
Yep, Milford around here. Yep.
All right.
But there's a big group of us that go down to Dickman's down at Fort Wright.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So we have a good time down there. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess that would be like the food places.
Food place. Okay.
Yeah.
Skyline or Gold Star?
Skyline.
All right.
I'm a Skyline guy.
Yeah.
So definitely Skyline.
I feel like I was always probably maybe grew up more of a Gold Star.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, it changed. I'm more of a Skyline.
Oh yeah. Everyone dishes on them about their ingredients in it, but man, I'm like, hey, it's good to me.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
But I don't dish on Gold Star. I'll sit down and eat Gold Star. I
yeah,
like them both, but
I do.
if I had a choice, I'm going Skyline.
Yeah. Okay. Pizza.
Like a Hawaiian pizza.
Pineapple.
Pineapple.
Okay. That's a whole nother debate. Is there a pineapple on your pizza, or is that even pizza? That's your go-to pizza.
That's my go-to pizza. I love it. So and I get a weird combination. Like I'll get pineapple and black olive.
Yeah.
And it's like a sweet and savory kind of deal,
yeah.
you know. So
that's one thing I could say. I've never seen racetrack pizza with pineapple on it.
well, hey, teach their own,
Yeah.
Everybody's got their preferences, That's
right.
just mine.
That's yours. Okay. Now, who we got to thank for your hot rods?
My dad, he's, like I said, he's the one that forced the bill for everything. He's like, hey, I want you to save as much money as you can, and I'll take care of this, but you got to get out here and do it in the garage.
Right.
So all of the credibility really goes to him. He's teaching me everything, how to go through the cars, maintenance them.
Yeah.
Just what to adjust to get better, how to scale cars correctly. He's taught me pretty much everything.
Right.
Even at the track, he don't like saying nothing to me because when I don't run good, he knows that I'm hard on myself, and I know.
Yeah.
He knows, not to.
Okay.
He'll kind of leave me on my own.
Not poke the bear too much.
Right.
Okay.
He's like, hey, let's work on this. But at the same time, I listen to him because he knows what he's talking about.
Sure. It's hard to go against that much experience.
Oh, absolutely. And then
good experience.
Absolutely. And then my grandpa, if he's there to watching a race, whether I win or lose, he's telling me what I did wrong.
Yeah.
And he's always, which I appreciate. He's telling me what I need to work on to be better. You know. He's my biggest critic. He really is. But you got to have one of those if you want to be good.
Sure.
You got to have someone tells you what you're doing wrong, even when you're doing things right.
Right. Absolutely.
I got to thank David. He comes out here in the shop with me almost every night that I call him. Hey, I need some help out here in the shop.
Yeah.
Because Dad's rule. I'm not touching them. You got to do it all on your own. Until I mess something up is when he comes out.
Right,
he's like, no, this.
Now he's got to take over.
Right.
Yeah.
So David, he comes out here and helps at the track. Dedicates his time. Todd and Brennan Sherman Enterprises. They're a huge help to us. Our racing program. Jenny Weber, when we need something on the fly, she's real local. Hey, you got this. And she'll have it.
I hear she is like, if you need something, she can find it.
Oh,
it's like if she don't have it, she can.
Yeah,
she comes up with it somehow.
Yeah, she'll have it on either Tuesdays or Thursdays or delivery days.
Okay.
So you'll have it. Whether it's pushing towards the end of the week.
Right.
But she'll make sure you have it. But with its stuff for the race car, pretty much we get stuff through Sherman.
Okay.
Because they know exactly what we need and
right,
whatnot.
Right.
This year we had Carthage Auto Parts come along with us. Austin is his grandpa.
Yeah.
Which was hopefully we can get them back. They've been a great help. Ethan Burgess at Burgess Motorsports Consulting, he's helped us out. Just text over the phone. Just conversations over the phone, like, hey, you can try this or try that.
Right.
And, he's been a great help. Everybody that's come and helped on the track, Dylan Rivers, Justin Clark, Brandon Bolton, Will Harris, Justin Luce, a bunch of my buddies, Dylan Wilby, Cole Collins, those guys, that are really, they'll just, hey, I need your help, and they're there. They're there, So it's great to have, that kind of people around you.
Sure. Yeah. It sometimes you don't realize how important it is to have help.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, one car is hard to maintenance and just keep up with, and we got 2 cars this year, so
right.
They might be getting phone calls.
They might be getting
phone
calls. You're gonna get some crew shirts or something.
Oh yeah. So I got some great friends and great people around me.
Good deal.
So I couldn't be more appreciative of what I got going on for me.
Well, hey man, the 2024 season's getting ready to get started. Best of luck. Good luck. You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing what this year goes, or how this year goes. So we'll see.
Right on.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap things up. Hope you guys liked. Don't forget to check us out. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go ahead and check out Eric Shepard Jr. too. You got a Facebook page?
I don't have a Facebook page. I just got a personal Facebook.
Facebook.
But
okay.
I'll usually update where we're going racing and kind of that kind of thing of how we did and whatnot. So if you friend me on Facebook, that's where you'll see most of our updates.
There you go. Sounds good. So, again, hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you at the track here real soon. Thanks.